Hey YouTube, it's TheRubberMant here, and I'm here with another episode of Exotic Cards. Now, today I've got a pack of Extreme Victory that we're going to look at today. So, starting off with Scrap Kong. Now he's a 4-star monster with 2000 attack, and when he's normal summoned, he's destroyed. And if he's sent to the graveyard by the effect of a scrap card, you can target one scrap monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Now, at first glance, not great. He destroys himself when he's normal summoned. Possibly skill drain, but in a skill drain deck there are better targets like Tardy Orc, just one off the top of the head. The one use you can get out of that card, by the way. But yeah, aside from that, you can there is a combo you can do with him. You can use Scrap Storm to destroy one scrap monster you control. Then when Scrap Kong is sent to the graveyard, he can target a scrap monster in the graveyard and add it to your hand. So that's pretty useful. But aside from that, Scrap Kong isn't too great. So next we've got Contact with the Aquamirror. Now this is a normal spell card. If you control a face-up water monster, you can activate one of the effects. If you control a water ritual monster, you can activate 2 of them. The first is look at all the set cards in your opponent's spell traps up card zone and put them back. You don't do anything else to them. And the second effect, which is the important one, look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck and put them back in any order. Now that's important in a water deck because you can get a lot of control with it. You can look at the top 2 cards in the deck and then use Spiritual Water Art Aoi. Once you've predicted the draws, use Spiritual Water Art Aoi and destroy one of those cards, and you will be running that card more than likely in a water deck anyway. You can also use Mind Crush, but Aoi is more likely in a dedicated water deck. So next we've got TG Warwolf. He's a pretty cool card for the Tech Genus archetype. Never played the archetype myself, but interesting things can be done with it. He's a Beast Warrior. When a level 4 or lower monster is special summoned to either side of the field, Warwolf special summons. And that's his important effect. He has got another effect. During the end phase, if he's destroyed, you can add 1 TG monster from your deck. So he searches when he dies, as well as the special summoning ability. The special summoning ability is important because it's not only when a monster on your side is special summoned, it's your opponent. So you can chain him in your opponent's turn and have a monster special summoned. You can also have him work with cards like Junk Synchron. When they special summon from the graveyard, Warwolf jumps out. You synchro for a 7-star or an 8-star depending on what you pulled from the graveyard. He's also really good to combo up with TG Catapult Dragon. Now, TG Catapult Dragon, once per turn you can special summon 1 TG tuner from your hand. It's got 3 targets. There are 3 TG tuners, but the one you're going to want to target is Strike Condor, because that's a level 3, and this is level 2, so you can synchro up for level 5, so you can get TG Wonder Magician, you can get Alliance Adjusted Catasta, or if you are using Warwolf, you have Warwolf in your hand. When Catapult special summons, you can grab, you can go up to even higher 9-star, 7-star if it goes with level 3, or if you've got other tuners in your hand. It's got a lot of possibilities in a Tech Genus deck, so that's a pretty good card. Next we've got Self-Mummification. Basically, quick play, select one monster you control, destroy it. It sounds nonsensical to destroy a monster you control. A monster from the hand, fair enough, because you're not using it, but you've made an effort to get a monster you control out. But there are reasons for it. For example, you set it, someone dimensional prisons your monster. You activate Self-Mummification. It goes to the graveyard instead of removed from play, which is a better case for a lot of decks. And you can also use it with some cards. The one that comes first to mind for me is Overmind Archfiend. If you have Overmind Archfiend out and you've removed a lot of psychic type monsters, you can send your own Overmind Archfiend to the graveyard in the battle phase after it's attacked, and attack with all of the psychic monsters that you then summon. So potentially very powerful if used right. Unknown Synchron. Right, I really love this card. It's a 1-star Dark Tuner that is essentially a Tuner Cyber Dragon. It can special summon itself when your opponent controls a monster. Unfortunately, it can only be used once per duel, that effect. But it's still a pretty good card. I'll use it in my Insector deck because you can get out, then summon an Insector, go into Dark Diviner, which is a level 4 Synchro, which only really Insectors can use. But yeah, you can use it in some Turbo decks as well. You can use it with Phantom Skyblaster. You special summon this, summon Phantom Skyblaster, get 2 tokens, go into a Mistworm or another 9-star Synchro. You use it with Junk Synchron, or you use it with Boost Warrior. Boost Warrior is the best combo you can do with Unknown Synchron, really. You use special summon Unknown Synchron, special summon Boost Warrior, go into a formula, then summon a monk, get his effect, go into Stardust, go into Shooting Star. So, pretty good card with a lot of potential, you just have to be a bit clever about it. Next we've got the Resolute Meklord army. Because this is an Extreme Victory pack, we've got quite a lot of Meklord stuff as well as TG stuff. So Meklord army monsters you control in face-up attack position cannot be destroyed with battle, but their effects are negated. So Meklord effects are mainly about gaining attacks, so you lose a bit of attack but your cards can't die, so it gives you time to set something up even if you're losing some life points, but hey, you don't win by having lots of life points, you win by inflicting damage to your opponent. But yeah, this has potential to do with a card like Grinnell, whose main effect resolves as soon as you summon it, then you activate Resolute Meklord army, Grinnell's not going to go. So pretty decent card. Not really much else to say about it except it's archetype specific, and you can't really splash anything archetype specific in any deck, no matter how good it is. Alright, another Meklord specific one, Mektimed Blast. You target one Meklord army monster you control and a monster your opponent controls, destroy it. That's really all there is to it. You pop something that your opponent has that you really don't want there. That's all I have to say, really. It's an alright card, it's a good card. This set we haven't really had any bad cards, in this pack we haven't really had any bad cards apart from Scrap Con maybe. But yeah, last card, Brain Hazard. This is essentially called the Haunted for Psychics. And it's specifically the archetype of psychics that use banishing from the graveyard. So you could use it with Gustos potentially, but it would be very situational. Gustos don't tend to want to be removed. Banish Psychic do. Brain Hazard is the way to get them out. It's called the Haunted for them from the removed from play. And that's it really. Archetype specific, not much else to talk about. So that was this week's Exotic Cards. I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed it. RubberMant out.